This is Abnormal Entertainment.
Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My dad said be an actor, my son, but be a comical one. They'll be standing in lines for those old honky-tonk monkey shines.
Hey folks, this is Daniel Garza. Welcome to another episode of Put It Together. I want to start as usual thanking my producer, Mr. Kevin Moyers. Thank you, sir, for everything you do. Inviting you all to check us out at abnormalentertainment.com, where you can find all the shows on the network. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. My handle is at Little Mexican, LILMESICAN. You can also find stuff on Facebook at Little Mexican Productions and my new website, littlemexicanproductions.com. It's still getting built, but everything we do production-wise will be on there, so go check it out and support. I want to welcome to a live recording. The first time we tried to do this recording was over the phone, and it went really bad. Chris.
I blame Sprint.
I blamed it that day.
Brian, if you're listening, Sprint, you do fucking suck.
Crystal, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Put some tacos in my belly, so I'm very happy.
Good. Well, you worked this morning. You had a show.
It's been so long.
And then after your show, you came over here.
Came over here to have a good old-fashioned tea. You make some really good root-fed beans.
Thank you. Well, you know, being Mexican, it's kind of a law that you have to do that.
Oh, yeah. If I can't make decent barbecue, I feel like some dude in like a camo hat comes and kicks my ass.
I expect every white person to make good meatloaf.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that because the woman that I know that makes the best meatloaf I've ever had in my life is an older white lady.
Yeah, they have to.
She also makes this mac and cheese that, like, it blows my guts up. It's all the dairy. Fuck, bro.
It's worth it?
Yeah.
It's worth the gas at night.
You just eat it over a toilet. That's all you do. You just sit there. It's like, I don't have to move.
I'm good. Yes, I dig it.
This railway's got 3 stops. Now it's stomach and anus.
I'm talking about anus. I think the last time we recorded, I had just had my surgery. I wasn't too...
You now have 2 anuses.
I have 2 anuses. Thank you very much. You know, and I have one of the holiest asses in Hollywood. So there you go. How you been, man? Tell us how you put it together.
I've been busy as fuck, man. I do this to myself where I say yes for everything and then just kind of get stuck. I don't like...
thank you for being here.
No, this is not what I mean. I mean, like booking a bunch of stand-up and then trying to fit in, like, filming a small movie and, like, trying to do everything.
Yeah.
Like, having time for a podcast, that's just a fun conversation. But, like, booking, like, a movie and then, like, I could... Maybe if I get off set early enough, I can go do a set or go do a stand-up show. And I'm like... Bro, just one thing at a time. I'm learning this the hard way of, like, I gotta do things one thing at a time. Excuse me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna bury myself in stress.
So where do you think that comes from? The
universe likes to just fuck me.
Okay.
The universe is like, listen, we're gonna give you opportunities. We're not gonna give it to you at any kind of, like, speed you prefer. We're gonna come at you when we want, and you're gonna have to just juggle fire every day. That's what it feels like. It's just like someone just hands you something, you're like... There's no manual of being a comedian. There's no manual to the career of an actor. There's no...
Right.
So I'm making it up as I go, and I don't know what opportunity is going to lead where.
And they're both such different paths.
There's work to be done on both to stay sharp at both.
Right.
You know, and also, I would say I'm way better, 10 times better of a stand-up comedian than I am an actor, because I've only been acting for 3.5, 4 years now, and taking a few classes, and I've gotten some experience, but, like, stand-up, I can just go in front of 2 people and kill. It's just, you know, I can figure out a way to make those 2 laugh for as long as I have to be on stage for.
So let's talk about that if you don't want to. Where did that come from? Is it a want or is it a need to make people laugh? Yeah.
You want to get on stage to get attention, and then you need to keep validating it. Like, I have to keep proving to myself I'm funny, because there's some days I wake up and I feel like I've lost it.
Okay.
Like it's not there.
Right.
And it's a weird feeling. Because it's weird to have something that, like, it's not tangible. You know what I mean? Like, Major League pitcher, I could keep my arm on ice. I could not use my arm in a certain way, you know, or, but it's like, if it's not there anymore, if my words don't have that snap.
Right.
fuck.
Yeah, and
You put it together by you write and you just constantly are trying to keep being funny and you keep performing. That's I did a show tonight, there was mainly comics in the audience, but I was like, I'm going to run these 2 jokes, and so once I get these 2 jokes out, I'm happy, because then everything else is just whatever.
Okay. Because I tell people, they ask me, why do you do the podcast and why do you run around all over from Orange County and San Diego all the way to North Hollywood?
Yeah.
I'm like, because if I've kind of identified myself with being on a podcast. I've been doing this for 5 years now. If I don't have somebody to interview, I feel like I'm missing something. I need it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's that weird sense of fulfillment that you, once you start something, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, I don't know how many comedians have stopped doing comedy since I've started.
Really?
You'd have to give me a sheet of paper and a whole day. Think of the comedians that, even just when I was in Gainesville starting up, and how many guys started for a couple of months, did a handful of shows, and then for one reason or another just didn't keep on. And I started at 19, worked my way up to being a working comic on the road and moving out here and, getting credits here and there and winning a festival and just moving the chain slowly. It's interesting because you don't realize, what you've been putting together. Like you said,
right.
It's looking back, there's a path. But looking forward, there's not.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You can see where you've been and go, well, I did all these things that I thought were the progression. That I thought was, okay, I'll do this, this, this. But then you reach a certain point where it's like, what the fuck is the next step?
Right.
Where is it? How do I find it? Yeah.
So talking about, because you just mentioned people who, it was ready, set, go, and you start with this pack of people. Why?
Of the technical people that were doing the comedy show that I started at, one is still a comedian. And there were 15. And 10 years ago, it was 2 left.
Wow.
Most people can't afford to be comedians, full-time comedians, because it's just, you don't make enough money for a very, very, very long time. I've always had other incomes.
Right.
Moral and unmoral alike. But I've kept money in my account. I've kept myself floating. I think I would have quit comedy maybe 7, 8 years ago when, I realized you can't really I wasn't going to live on the road. I wasn't going to live gig to gig to gig like that. And I was like, but I also couldn't have a job because what job is going to let you go off for 2 weeks at a time?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll be gone. I'll see you.
Yeah, no, I'd start, but in a month when I'm back, and it's just, I think that's what happens. A lot of guys, they just go out and they get money and they're like, you do less shows, and all of a sudden you're not a comic anymore. You don't really identify yourself as it. And there's some guys that quit because they finished college, and that was it.
So other than the financial side of it, have there been other things along the way that was the door to say, okay, just stop doing this?
No. I've been very lucky to have very supportive people along the way. I've only had one instance, and she was very drunk, where someone was negative and kind of foreboding.
Okay.
Other than that, no, people are like, man, stick with this. The crowd loves you.
What do you do when there's somebody poking holes in your dream?
If they're a man, well, that's never happened. No one's ever. I haven't had a man tell me I'm going to fail.
Okay.
I've had a woman tell me I was going to fail, and if she was a man, I'd have fucked her up.
What did you do?
I let it go because she's a woman and she was very drunk. If that was a man, I would have beat the shit out of him. I would have beat him real bad.
It's because it's interesting.
I'm chivalrous. My mom raised me never hit a woman.
Right. But
in hindsight, I should have punched her because she wasn't a woman. She was being a real cunt right then. But looking back, that would have proved nothing. So it was funny though because of how she acted. She said some really choice words to me in the car. But previously in the club that night, she had said something really mean and tried to embarrass me in front of the club. And the next morning, I come in, and the club manager's apologizing to me on behalf of her. And then I told her what happened in the car. The club manager's like, "Do you want us to fire her?" Because she was headlining, and I was middling, and I was like, "This is my first time here. I'm not looking to be that guy. Let's let it go."
All right.
And other than that, I literally, in 13 and a half years doing comedy, that's the only situation I can look back on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because the funny thing, before that, I used to make fun of other comics for having, like, shit situations, dealing with a psycho headliner or just some kind of crap. And I was like, nah, I'm pretty good, man. I've never dealt with... And then I get in the car with fucking Cunts McGee. And she, you know... What really almost got her ass beat was how close she got to me. Like, she got in my ear.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, if a man gets that close, we're going to fucking fight. Like, we might do both. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't... Like, you know... I was just polite in that situation. I was like, you know what, she's just really drunk, and this is coming from a position of fear out of her own insecurity. And it sucks when you can understand the psychology of people, because you can't let your normal side just get mad. Because you understand the logic of the situation, so you can't take her head against the glass 13 or 14 times, treat it like a basketball, you know? You can't, because you know where it's coming from. She's not saying it to hurt you. She's saying it to make herself feel better.
Right.
And it's like, you know... Well,
how much more of a insight do you believe comics have into the psyche of people?
Are you kidding? I think severe insight, because you just... To make someone laugh... To bring out an involuntary response like laughter, you have to know who you're talking to. You know? You have to figure it out every time you learn. I mean, I've walked on stage... And you just see crowd after crowd after crowd. And I walked on stage one time, it was in Ventura. There were 4 women sitting at a table. All different ethnicities. All of them very pretty. All of them nice dresses. Not like evening gown, but dress, you know, professional dress. And what job do they have?
Office assistants or secretaries?
I know what bank you work at.
Oh, okay.
And they act like I guessed their weight. All at once. And the woman goes, how did you guess that? And I go... First off, 4 women of different ethnicities are not friends. That's TV. Most people have, you know, 1 or 2 of whatever. You have your core of friends that typically are the race you are.
Oh, okay, got it.
Like, you know, women have, like, you know, they have 3 white friends and a black friend. You know what I mean? It's
a token.
Yeah,
it's always a token.
That's where phrase fucking comes from. So, and I was like, you guys also look at you look at you coming from work. And I go, banks love money, and nobody's angry giving a pretty woman money. And I go, and banks aren't racist, because the only color banks care about are green. So they want to have every type of race represented at that teller, so when you walk up, you feel comfortable giving that bank that money. That's psychology.
Interesting.
And literally, I walked up and looked at them, and my brain goes, work at a bank. My brain just did all that math and the split, because it took all the times I've been on stage. I can look at someone and tear them apart by how they're dressed, you know? I was at Comedy and Magic the other night, and the guy was sitting in the front row with a tank top that said, God bless America. I said, what part of Florida are you from? Everybody started laughing, and he was from Deltona, Florida.
God.
I mean, granted, I am from Florida, so I know, but it's like, shit, man. You see enough. I've traveled all over this country. At a certain point, you've seen it all.
Right. Was that something that was already part of you when you were a kid?
I've always been a people watcher, and I've always been weirdly... like a sponge when it comes to just absorbing facts. And because I find if you're going to rip someone apart, it hurts the most, or it's funniest the most, when you know what you're talking about and you can drop a reference. Because not only like when I make fun of you or I'm joking around, you just laugh harder when I say something that actually
like resonates with you.
I mean, if someone's from a certain town, you know. It's funny, when I meet Filipino people, I always tell them the reason why the .45 caliber handgun exists is because of the Filipino people.
Really?
Yeah, during the occupation of the Philippines in the early 1900s, when locals would rise up against the military occupation, they would get fucked up on like a local amphetamine. And like the soldiers there were dumping 38s, revolvers, dumping 6 shots of a 38 into a dude, and it's not stopping him. So they had to come up with a higher caliber round.
Wow.
And none of them... Every Filipino person I've met does not know that. And I was like, yeah, that's why that exists.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I like history.
There you go, guys. Not only are you getting a podcast with a comic, but a little bit of history here.
I'm a big history nerd. I watch. My girlfriend gets mad that I watch. She's like, another Nazi documentary. I'm like, I'm starting to think what side you're beyond. I'm like, pardon me? You know, although if Hitler had not waged war against Russia, if he had not had big construction things, I think it was like by less than a year. The U.S. was bombing Berlin so bad they weren't actually able to produce. Their production had stopped.
Okay.
But they were just then they were starting to get with the V2 rockets, and they would have rocketed fucking London to nothing. I think if England would have fell, I think the United States would have decided to go after peace with Nazi-occupied Europe. That's what I think would have happened. That's my anticipation of England falls. But English pushes them back. They fight off. They win the battle for Britain. And the U.S. is there to fucking, once we got in the war, it was over with.
Wow.
Because we could manufacture tanks and everything. And we can keep doing it. Because they couldn't fly, the Nazis couldn't fly across the ocean. The planes could not physically go across the ocean like that. They would have had that. That's why, I think eventually they'd gone to war, but we would have made peace at first. Because once the Nazis were able to get to England, they could have gone from England to the United States. And started bombing us in that respect.
Wow.
But before that, they weren't able to fly from France to the United States. As far as my documenters have told me.
Wow. That's pretty great. Okay, so this is totally...
acted alone, too. He was set up by the mob to do it.
This is kind of like breaking the mold of the idea that we have of comics. Because we think they're just out there to be funny. They're just watching people.
I read too.
That's all they do. Yeah.
I read too.
But there's this whole persona behind the character that you put out there. We are.
Oh, yeah, I write.
I wish I had the camera right now.
I like writing silly jokes. I don't want to make anyone's opinion. I don't want to change anyone's opinion because I don't feel like it's my job to walk up there and make you think a certain way. My job is to walk up there and entertain you. That's what I think my job is. So that's what I do. And I write the jokes and I write. It's not like I sit down and try to think, I want to be idealistic or I want to be political or I want to go there and talk about a religion or this or that. I just write the jokes as they come.
Right. Because I believe you have to have a pretty open mind and be able to see all kinds of sides to be able to make people laugh, because you have to.
You got to find the right angle. You got to find the weird angle of it to go in on. To find what makes it funny is finding that weird angle.
Because I don't think you can be dumb and be funny.
No, I can be dumb in a lot of ways, but when it comes to writing, you have to be somewhat adept at writing. I agree with that.
Because we look back at people like two of my favorite physical comics, Lucille Ball, John Ritter, who were very physical in their comedy, but everything was so calculated. You can't just go out there and fall and break. Yeah, we were just watching him.
Foster Brooks. You gotta be smart to look dumb.
Yeah.
And it's, that's the whole point of playing dumb. That's the whole point of it. And the better you are. That's why I thought Tracy Morgan had the hardest job to do on 30 Rock.
Okay.
Because that character's hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to do him over the top. But to find that, subtle, real area is tough.
Where it leaves you wondering, is is he really?
Is he really just fucking dumb? Did they just turn the camera and walk away?
Yeah, to convince you.
Jack?
That. So, changing the conversation a little radically there. We met you the first time, at a show, for a friend of ours, a mutual friend, Mike Hennessy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a set there, right? Or were you just watching?
I think I was just watching.
You was watching? But we met you in line and we just thought you were hilarious behind us. I forget what you were saying, and I remember this was several years ago, and then I gave you my card. I'm like, I have a podcast, you have to come on.
Yeah.
And then it took a while to get you on the show, and then I had to get cancer, and it was my dream to have you on the show. Yeah, it was my Make-A-Wish moment.
But you really kind of blew that load early, didn't you?
Huh?
Blew that load.
And I was like,
you could have hung out with a quarterback from the NFL, man. You really could have had
I was like,
Hugh Jackman would have showed up in Wolverine claws if you'd asked him and say, no, Chris Copeland's show.
Yeah, they were like, what do you want? And I was like, I want something really funny. And they're like, well, you're a little over the age limit. I'm like, I don't care. Who can I get? And they were like, well, how many bottle caps do you have to turn in?
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, you said come by for an hour.
I was like, I wanted Jane Stamos naked, but they said, we got Chris. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm
Chris Stamos.
We talked a little bit. For those of you listening, and you're like, hasn't he been on the show before? Yes, he was on the show.
27 times now, guys. Get over it.
But the first time that he was on the show, it was some little town, and the reception was horrible. The phone line kept dropping. And I thought, I want him in person, so I bribed him with some tacos, and here we are at the table.
And some damn good beans, too.
Yeah, the beans were good.
No, I'm happy I finally got to do this, because I hate when I have an obligation that I got to go through. You know, I'm like, and I keep having things come up, like money or something, you know? I'm always like, no, I want to do this, it's just, there's money right now. I gotta go get this money, I gotta go do this. And
I, being an entertainer myself, I know that sometimes you're like,
fuck, I gotta go get this $150, otherwise I can't pay my insurance.
Like, I really want to have sex tonight, I do, but I gotta work.
Yeah.
Can you just hold on to that?
I'm actually going to do a podcast and listen to a screaming 11-year-old. Trust me, I babysit for those who are listening.
But I was recently out of surgery from my ostomy when we did the last show, and we talked a little bit about health issues and stuff.
Yeah.
You've had, can we go into that?
Yes, for sure. I've had an aneurysm. I had that when I was 20. Sorry, I'm scratching over that mic. I had an aneurysm at 27. It almost killed me. AAA ascending aortic aneurysm. I lost a lot of blood. Happened in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, when I was doing a show.
Wow.
Yeah, man, now I sleep more. Before, I would just go nonstop like I thought I was invincible. I'd eat whatever I wanted. Now I'm doing better. I'm trying to cook. I gotta cut sodas out. I just can't get enough of them now. Fucking...
You incorporated your health issues into your comedy.
Yeah, I feel like it was such a major event in my life. To not talk about it would have kind of robbed the audience of something that's very important in my life that they should be aware of. You know? Because I don't mind being a comic that walks on stage and gets, talks about my life. Everything has to... Most of my jokes are real and take place in the real world, so why wouldn't I mention
that?
And I just, for 6 months, I would go up and just for the first 6 months back on the road, I would just go up and tell that story. And I whittled it over like a course of a year, maybe two. I whittled the story, into just what it is now.
And do you believe, and how much was it, a therapeutic session to be able to talk about your health issues?
Say that again?
Like, was there a therapeutic level to it? Like, were you able?
Every time I talk about it, I go there in my head at least once a day, so it's not like it's never fresh. Things in your life that are traumatic, I think you always tend to remember. Something will trigger it. I'll see a door shut and it'll remind me of something. Something will happen and remind me of where I was at or when I had that. And yeah, it's nice to talk about it because you talk about something, it's no longer just hidden. It's not in the past. If you keep bringing it up, it's a part of your future and it's a part of your present. You are able to learn from it still. I think they'll bury things in the past and they don't look back because it's a mistake or whatever, and they go, fuck that, I'm not looking at that. And I'm like, no, look at it again because you got to keep reminding yourself that you're not invincible. You can hurt yourself on accident by pushing your body too hard and not taking care of yourself, and then have a serious consequence of fucking dying.
What all led to that?
To what?
To getting sick and ending up in the hospital.
Oh, the aneurysm just happened. That's the thing with them. They just come out of nowhere. Sometimes your doctor's able to find them. But mine burst. My aortic blood vessel or whatever burst. So they just had to fix me, save me.
Can you remember, or can you walk us through what happened that day?
Oh, yeah. I went... Weird day. I was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Just went up, got breakfast like I normally do. I went sightseeing, which there's nothing to fucking see in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I went to the Capitol building, and then I went to this museum, this Pennsylvania museum, which I saw statue of Joe Pa, William Tell, and then... I get back to the room, and I'm just kind of lounging around in my underwear, and I started feeling this weird chest pain. At first, like I say in my act, I thought it was at McDonald's,
Right.
So it's working, but it kept up, and after a few minutes, I went from a normal frame of mind to being freaked out in my head and being covered entirely in sweat.
Wow.
Head to toe. Like over a second, it was like boom, I was covered in water. So I call my mom, and she says, hang up, call 911. I call 911. They send a cop there first. The hotel manager lets him in. I'm in the bed, like, writhing in pain. And he's, like, trying to, like, ask me if I've been doing drugs. And I'm like, no, I'm fucking fat. And my chest hurts. You know, in my head, I'm like, this isn't super complicated.
Right.
And he just tries to keep me calm. And it's funny because my buddy, who's a firefighter, like, he should have been giving you oxygen. He should have been doing something besides interrogating you.
Right.
But, you know, whatever. People just react in the moment. The EMTs come in, put me on the gurney. It's snowing outside. I remember it was snowing outside. I'm like, can I get a blanket? I'm in my underwear. I was in my fucking underwear. Take me to the hospital. They check me in. They run a bunch of tests. The third test is a CT scan. They realize that you're having an aneurysm. Your aortic vessels on your chest burst, and you're bleeding internally.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was funny because the guy had to give me a release from the surgery. And I was like, what if I don't sign this? He goes, well, I'll make you as comfortable as I can, and you'll die in a day. And he just said it.
Matter of factly.
Just, yeah, bro. You don't want to sign this? That's fine. But I was like, yeah, I signed it. No problem.
What ink do I have to sign this in?
I'll initial it, X, whatever you want. So then Dr. Mumtaz, I'll still remember his name, came in and told me the fun news. I was having an aneurysm, and I had about a 6-hour surgery ahead of me.
Wow.
And I had about a 20% chance to live. And I was like, all right, let's fucking do this. The last thing I said when I got wheeled into the ER was, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not dying in fucking Hershey, Pennsylvania. Nah.
Not going to happen.
This isn't where I'm going. This isn't a brothel in Texas. I'm not.
What goes through your head? You're out and working. Obviously, there's no family around. There's no friends.
You've been sick, so you know it's like, but it's weird because the nurse came in and was like, do you want to call your mom and say goodbye, maybe? Like, she said it just like that, like, do you want to call your mom maybe one last time? And that's a very hard conversation to have with somebody. Hi, I love you. Maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow. It's one of those things where, you know, I feel bad for my friend because I texted him right when I was feeling like shit. I go, hey, I think I'm going to have a heart attack. No joke. I'll text you when I get to the hospital. I'm like, he sat there for 8 hours crying. He didn't know I was going to live or die. You know? And next morning I woke up. I didn't realize I woke up for like the first hour. Like, I was awake and I was complaining about like my throat was hurting me because I've been breathing tube, and then it sunk into me, hey, you fucking lived through this and you weren't supposed to live. Because they called, after I talked to my mom, my brother and sister and my mom jumped on a plane to come up to Pennsylvania because they thought they were coming to claim the body.
Wow.
You know, and, you know, quote Phil Collins, against all odds, I woke up.
Have you had it? I'm sure, probably have, but did you have a chance to talk to your family about what they were going through, what they were feeling?
No. Too afraid to, I think.
Yeah?
I don't want to just... Talking about my aneurysm was one thing, but like making my family go through the stress of that situation again, just in memoriam, you know, in memory of it, I don't want to make them, I don't want to mentally put them through that again, even just to give me the inside dope on their emotions. I'd much rather just let them feel what they felt, and I don't want you guys to ever have to think about that again. Mm-hmm. You know?
Because I found it interesting, well, my audience knows, when in 2000 when I was diagnosed with AIDS, my family obviously went through this whole roller coaster. Yeah, I'm an overachiever, dude.
Yeah.
I don't fuck around with little things.
I'm gonna get lupus. Men don't even get lupus.
STDs? Please, no. Give me AIDS, man. But in several years ago, when I started my podcast, when I had the Spanish version.
But AIDS ain't like it used to be, though.
No, I got it when it was rough. I got it when it was still rough around the edges.
So terrible.
Now it's.
I feel so terrible. Now AIDS ain't what it used to be.
Now anybody can get it, whatever.
Man, shit, I got AIDS on the way to work today.
I worked my ass off for that one. But about 5 years ago when I started my podcast in Spanish, and I didn't have a guest for the show, I was in Texas, and my sister came to me and she said, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking for a guest for my show. She's like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, whatever. She's like, well, I want to be your guest. I'm like, what do you want to talk about? She's like, you've never asked me how I felt when you got AIDS. And I was like, whoa. And the show is called My Brother Has AIDS. And it's in Spanish, for those of you listening who speak Spanish. But it was one of the...
So hermano.
Yeah, it was one of the most intense shows. I've done over 200 shows now. One of the most intense shows I've ever done. She had me crying. I was like, I can't believe I've never asked you. So just keep that in your head. Like sometimes your family needs to tell you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, not in just podcast format. If I have a private conversation, that's one.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But to bring them on a show or something.
No. My sister was pretty brave to do that. I just never thought she would do that. And I was like, well, she's like, you have a show. Let's do it on your show. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. No, I wouldn't put. No, if you're with your family and they went through something hard, no, don't. Unless they want to, you can call and talk. You can send it my way. We'll do it. How are you now? How's your health now?
You got yourself to keep dropping weight. But other than that, I take all my medications that are required. I see my doctors as required. So they bitch having to lose more weight. Other than that, I mean, I sleep 8 hours a day. Before that, I don't take any of the over-counter speed that I used to take.
Right.
I took diet pills in my early 20s, and I think probably had a lot to do with like prescribed diet pills from a doctor.
Right.
That were you remember Fen-Phen?
Yeah.
I took a Phentermine.
Oh wow.
And it was the only one that wasn't recalled for a year and a half, and that was the year and a half I literally took it. I lost like 80 pounds, but I was on fucking. That shit felt like coke.
Wow.
Like gnash your teeth, always angry, just never ate.
But look awesome.
Lost weight. My heart was probably.
Yeah. That's some hard stuff.
My veins will put through shit, and then keep gaining, and then you lose that, you lose the weight, you get off that, you start ballooning back up.
Yeah.
Now that's where your heart gets beat up.
Was there during that time any aha moments, any epiphanies, something you said, okay, now this is what I must do with my life, or?
Yeah, no, because I've always been following my dreams. It just made me go, you just have to get on your horse. I've always been motivated to hustle for my dreams. So the Anders just kind of told me, listen, if you can survive this, you can survive anything else, and nothing else is going to compare to the feeling of living.
That's pretty cool.
So, take everything in fucking stride. How many air conditioning units do you have in here?
Well, that's the air conditioner, but that's the air cleaner. That's a purifier.
Do you smoke in here?
No.
So what do you need it for?
My OCD boyfriend. We have another one in the bedroom and another air conditioner. And one that's going to my house.
I couldn't be gay because I'm not that fancy.
Yeah, no.
It's a chore.
We're gay because we're fancy, yeah. We're not really gay, but we have so many tchotchkes and cleaners and, yeah. When you're that OCD, you just might as well be a fag.
I'll just copy.
Yeah, just go for it, yeah.
It's funny.
We change the sheets daily, not because we have to, just because we want to. No, we don't. We don't.
Okay.
We don't.
I was like, I don't even do that monthly. If I'm going to have a good amount of sex in my bed, I'm like, well, but it's our sex.
If y'all had seen the look on his face, that was pretty cool. Can we talk, I've had a couple of comics on the show. Can we talk politics a little bit?
If you want, sure.
Because it seems like the last several years has been like prime for comics to dig into politics.
Oh, I think it's always been like that. During the Clintons, during the original Bush, there's always going to be a side. You're always going to have to pick a side. I try to pick the side when it comes to politics because I am conservative in a lot of ways. I think what people get mad at conservatives, because there's nothing wrong with saying I like to be fiscally responsible, I like certain things. I'd go just be a fucking human being.
Yeah.
Don't tell a woman what she can do with her body. Make sure minorities get a fair fucking shake. And any white person that believes systemic racism doesn't exist is a moron. Is a moron. If you're listening to this and you think the rules haven't been set up to help white people, you're not paying attention. You're so covered, it's just ridiculous. It's like, well, I'm poor and white. I go, you're a loser.
Because there's opportunities.
Because guess what? You've never been pulled over on the way home for fucking just cuz.
Yeah.
There's so many, and I'm like, and I've been all around the country and I've seen different kinds of racism in different kinds of places. And I've seen people, and when you're white, they walk up to you and act like you're complicit in it. You know? And growing up in Florida, it's like, I've seen shit. It's just, that's my problem. Like, I think we're like Republicans and Democrats. It just seems like a lot of times it's like Democrats can be whiny motherfuckers And Republicans can be just some cold pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys, the Republicans are the ones that are cold pieces of shit, are the first ones to wave that flag and push that cross in the air. And I'm like, you know, Jesus was a liberal.
Yeah.
Where do you get the nerve?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus probably wouldn't like you.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't like you.
He hung out with the whores and the drunks
because he knew he loved he loved people. If he existed, first off, Republican Christians, to them, Jesus was a white man.
He wasn't?
No, I'm saying he was a white man.
Oh, yeah.
To a lot of because they will not believe Jesus was not Egyptian. I know, motherfucker, he's from Africa. That's where he grew up. The northern coast of Africa. That's where that shit is. As far as my memory can tell me, I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, even at best, he's Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
There weren't whites around then. You know? It's... And like with this... oh, God. Sorry, my friend's an idiot. I'm saving his life. He bought an edible and he's asking me what milligram is it.
So we talk edibles.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No, like the thing is, what bugs me about Trump, outside of the fact that he's grossly incompetent, all he does is just a loudmouth. That's all he's ever been. Just a big. It's gonna be better than ever. It's gonna be fucking tell me one plan, you dumb cunt.
Yeah.
Like that's what I get mad at. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. Specifics, you asshole. Specifics. We're gonna come up with a plan. It's gonna be the best plan ever. He inspires me to put a gun in my mouth. When I heard Obama speak, made me want to be a better American.
Yeah.
That's what I want in a president. When I hear the president speak, I want to be a better American. Even when Bush would speak, I could still find inspiration in what he said.
Yeah.
Clinton, great orator. See, Clinton can get you motivated. George Bush. You know? He can motivate you. I mean, Reagan, for Christ's sake. You know, then you get Trump, and it's like, the guy barely wins. And now the shit that's coming out, it seems like Russia really did help him win.
Yeah.
And it's like, you heard it here first, I think he's gone by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
That's why, you know, because I think this is my guess, they're going to catch him on the money. He just turned over his tax returns. They're going to connect the dots. And he's going to resign. They're going to have it'll be a closed-door meeting, and it'll be, listen, man, we got you fucking dead to rights.
Right.
Leave.
Yeah. I kind of had to turn away from...
3 years of Mike Pence, and the gay people will be further persecuted like they've always been. You know, he's a religious zealot, but he's not a fucking crazy person.
Right.
Trump is like, fire, brimstone, brimstone, fire and fury. We're going to bomb them. We're going to bomb those... It's like, dude... we all live in this world too. You know? Like, seriously, man.
Well, the thing that worries me less about Pence is historically...
He's a second gay president, by the way.
Yes. Historically, anybody who's that obnoxious about sexuality has got some little boy locked up in a closet somewhere that he's banging on the...
Or his anus.
And so... I'm kind of like, you know what? At a certain point, at least we know. At least we know what we're dealing. Who was our first?
James Buchanan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, shut up. Yeah, never married. Had a gentleman living with him in the White House. And there's letters they found recently that, like, how he's like, the previous lady that lived there, like, he took care of everything, you know, cook, clean, stuff like that. She's like, she understood so well. Like, he wrote that. Like, he's like, I miss my friend, and the other woman, I don't think I'm going to find someone quite agreeable.
Nice.
Which is, she keeps it on the DL.
Well, yeah.
She doesn't ask a fucking question.
And yeah, so
when you read like his letters, you're like, bro. And he was also a very fancy, foppish man. He's the reason, because he didn't do shit. He's the reason why we got in the Civil War.
Oh.
He's one of the, historians have said, this dude, if you're looking to blame somebody, you can wag the finger at him quite considerably.
Now I'm going to have to look up information.
Yeah, man.
And then you have to come back and do a history episode with me.
I love history, man. You know, what was it? I can't remember the name of it. She's an Indian comedian, and I can't pronounce her name. I look it up, and she goes, we don't have to worry about them erasing our history because we're repeating it.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. I was so mad. I was like, oh, my God. I've had that thought. I just never decided to put it in a
phrase, yeah.
Well, because, like, it's weird being a white guy in comedy now because, like, we're the man. Like, in this situation where it's like, when you see Charlottesville, it's just a bunch of fucking white people with tiki torches. Like,
Right.
I'm one outdoor patio equipment away from, being fucking racist.
I'm tired about it. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know how hard it is in comedy to be able to walk on stage and have an opinion that doesn't seem like it's coming from the most full of shit human. It's like,
because we expect
and I
it.
don't look like an alt comic, so it's like you don't think I'm a nerd, you don't think I'm this or that. It's like I walk up there like, hi,
Yeah.
I probably own guns. You probably think I'm a guy in a truck. You hear me with a little bit of an accent, and they're just like, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, man, I'm the first guy to back you up. If anybody gives you shit, I got you back.
I'd expect to see you
Well,
and
I'm looking for that moment where some dude. I saw a video the other day. It was a Subway, and this black dude's in a hoodie, looking at his phone, waiting in line, and the fucking dude in front of him, like, now you're waiting in line, you kind of.
I just saw that. Yes.
The other thing, and the guy pulls a gun on him, and I'm like, no one else is in there. If I was sitting there eating, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I would have called 911 on the guy. I'd be like, no, I'm calling the real police.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
And then the other people walk in the restaurant. He acts like he didn't do anything.
Because as a white man, I would have stood up and been like, I'm not armed and I'm white. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm going to scream at you.
Yeah.
But if that black guy would have screamed at him, he would have felt justified in shooting him.
Yeah.
Oh, he was coming at me. You don't stand there that fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think you're listening, white people, call these motherfuckers out. When you see it, call them out. Because at the end of the day, if there is a God, he's going to judge you for staying quiet.
Yeah.
Y'all hear your phone. You know what I mean? I'm just like, no, I'm just past the point of letting fucking chicken shit Pecker Woods fucking sit there and tell me how I'm going to feel about someone else that's never done anything to me, that's never shown me, and it's like, go fuck yourself, man.
Well,
How small of a dick do you have to where you're going to pull a gun on an unsuspecting fucking person? Like, I see you have a baby there, so I'm assuming you had to,
there was some.
there was nothing in that situation that told me that deserved you to pull your pistol.
And for those of you wondering about
It's
the
a video
video,
floating right now. Like, the guy's in a Subway, and because there's a black guy in a hoodie with his cell phone, he was on his phone. The white guy, basically freaks out, draws his gun on him, pats him down, checks his waistband for a gun. He has no gun. He's there getting a fucking sandwich. It's sad enough he's at a Subway. You had to pull a gun on him too.
But I'll post the video on my Facebook page so you guys can check it out and decide for yourself. Well, if you think that's frustrating,
I'm sincere and I say this. If I'm in a situation and I see that, I might even react violently to the person being the racist. Like, I hope it gets on World Star. Comedian fucking tackles racist. I'll get 5,000 million views.
and then I'll be like, I had him on my show.
Yeah.
But when you think
Comedian pistol whips racist with his own pistol. Like,
if you think that's frustrating, imagine me watching Hispanic people defending situations that Trump is involved in. I'm like, serious?
did you see the SNL where it said blacks for whites?
Yes.
I have the most obnoxious laugh. It's very especially if it's like I read something, I go bah, and I'm sitting in my living room and I yelled it so loud it startled my girlfriend. She's like, "What?" I'm like, I showed it to her, and it's what Kenan Thompson just.
Yeah.
He's the hidden fucking gem of that show.
And if you haven't seen that episode of Saturday Night Live, I will post that on the Facebook page as well. It's
and
hilarious.
it's funny because I was reading Trump's rules upset. Like, Eric's like, you guys don't realize what you're doing to my dad. You know what? He can quit anytime he wants. The shit that they said about it, Obama.
The whole time.
If you had a nickel for every time a person called President Obama the N-word, we literally could pay our national debt in 40 seconds.
Yep.
Because I know personally, as a white person, I heard people say this. I mean, they called him the N president.
Yep.
And I'm like, this guy did nothing but try to help this country. And people are going to go, oh, bullshit. It's a dark shadow government. It's a dark shadow government. It's like, the dude's slick as a politician, and guess what? He was a great president. And if you don't think so, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And he walked that line with so much
Yeah,
degree.
do you remember those scandals during Obama? No.
No.
Do you remember Obama's kids getting in trouble? No. Do you remember the First Lady ever doing anything but nothing but being an awesome-ass woman?
Yeah.
No. Okay, then. Shut your fucking hole.
Yeah. I agree with that.
If Obama was a white man, they would have called him the best president ever.
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing that kept him from going down.
Like, I'm
history.
dead serious.
Yeah.
People would be sucking his fucking, like, there would be statues. Because when he took over the country was in a bag of shit.
Yeah.
You know, that financial crisis was terrible.
Yeah. My funny moments lately have been people criticizing Obama for not being there for Katrina.
Oh, I saw that. That's so stupid. He wasn't even in office. He got inaugurated in 2009.
Yeah.
Katrina's 2005. I remember. Katrina cost me some work.
Yeah. I lived in Houston during Katrina, so yeah. And Ike and Rita.
I had 2 gigs in Mississippi and New Orleans that were back to back. And they were supposed to happen a month after Katrina. Fucking what shit happened to them. Ugh.
Yeah,
I
so-
remember you had to bypass New Orleans when you drove through it for a while.
Yeah.
What you normally do anyways, if you're on the 10, you take the 12.
Oh, do you?
Because the 10 goes through New Orleans. But like, so you know, like New Orleans is like the state of Louisiana is like a
Right.
boot. It runs down. The 12 kind of just, okay, so here's a 10, then it does this, the 12 is this.
Oh.
So instead of doing that, you're like, it just saves you an hour or 2.
I remember them next time. Cool.
Look at me, the fucking Zagat's.
I'm
You want to
impressed.
know the best place to go in Little Italy? To get Cajun food.
Everything I missed out on the first podcast, we're getting it now.
Go to Porto's. I was trying to
Porto's?
explain that to your boyfriend, how like Porto's is worth it.
Oh yeah.
It's extremely busy, but it looks like a headache. That's why some people don't go. Because it looks so busy. But they're so on the ball. That restaurant, I was telling I remember sitting with my girlfriend, I counted like 40 something people in front of the house.
Wow.
So you're thinking twice as many in the back.
Right.
I mean, that place hums. It's just busy all day long. Because I mean, when I go in there, my girlfriend and I'll get sandwiches. Well, she does this thing where she gets the bread and then gets like 2 potato balls, shoves them in the bread, and then eats it like a sandwich. And it's delicious. I've had a bite. I get my steak sandwich with my little potato sticks and the mayo and the pickled onions. And then we get like fucking croquettes, potato balls, and pastries to go. Boxes of them.
Wow. And this is Porto's.
Yeah, it's on
All right.
Hollywood Way in Burbank. Dude, it's going to blow your...
So for those
Just
of
when
you,
you go there, you'll park. Don't let the lines freak you out. Like, oh, we're going to be here all day. Because the lines move. They're just long.
we'll have to check it out. So if anybody from Porto's is listening, you've got a super fan here. And
Yeah, dude. If you work at Porto's, I take my hat off, dude. You fucking work. There's not an employee not working there.
we'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, it's funny because I like how Porto's, they also, the line regulates itself. Like if it's your turn and you go, if you're not anticipating where your next move is, the line will be like, yo, bro, you're up next. Bro. I was telling him, I saw this old Buena lady. She fucking just, you're next. And just yelled at you're next loud, like, you're next. And the kid's startled. And like the cashier's like, come on, man, let's
Move
you
it.
don't see 40 people?
Yeah.
Get your fucking phone out of your hand. Come on.
We're going to have to double date and plan it so so you can guide us through the Porto's.
It's real easy. You just walk in, they just ask you, like, you to go or is it dining in? Pick a line, and then it's just, they have all kinds of, their menu is extensive, their sweets are, oh, God.
We'll have to check it out. Well, we're at the point of the show now where we do our words of wisdom for our listeners.
Okay.
What words of wisdom would you like to throw out there?
My favorite quote, John Dillinger said this, never let them make you crawl. No matter what you're doing in life, hold your head high. If you're a fucking janitor, be the best goddamn janitor you can be. And that's what you want to do, keep doing it. And just always hold your head high and never let this world bring you to your knees. And just hold your ground, and at the end of the day, if you're not successful, at least you have your pride.
That's pretty cool.
And I fart. I have to fart.
Yeah, I live with a farter, so we're good. I'm used to it.
You're not a farter?
I'm not a farter because I have a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes through the bag.
That's funny.
I know.
Everybody's the same thing.
I haven't sat in the toilet in like, almost 2 years now, so.
I know you miss it.
I do.
It's taking a shit.
I
Dude,
do.
you know how nice it is to take a shit sometimes? You're like, oh, I'm going to get away from everybody. I'm going to get on my phone for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to feel lighter. There's nothing about a shit that sucks.
I haven't read an issue of Entertainment Weekly in 2 years, because that was my go-to.
I mean, Poops used to take me 5 minutes. Now it's 15 with my phone because I'm playing Wheel of Fortune.
Because we get older, and then we get older too, so.
Next time you're at the airport, go through the belt, let your bag go through the thing, and then get done, and then have your boyfriend, you be in front of your boyfriend, look back at your boyfriend and go, have you seen my bag? It's got all my shit in it. And then look at the fucking TSA and go, I need you to help me find my colostomy bag. It's got all my shit in it.
Well, you know, a lot of TSA people don't know how to handle the situation.
Oh, exactly.
They freak out.
Dude, most of them barely went to DeVry, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I love TSA because of how inept they are.
Yeah.
Because I fly with weed all the time. You hear me, TSA? All the time. All the time. You don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
They just don't care. Unless you're flying a fucking pound through, they don't care. When a gun slips through, you're not finding my weed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When a gun,
and that's been proven.
when a
So.
motherfucking gun gets through your clutches, you're never gonna. I could walk a kilo through my leg. Like, seriously.
I walked through. I
They're
walked
gonna put
through.
fingers in my ass this time.
They're gonna know. I was like, wasn't that guy on that podcast? The last time we flew back from, Jesus, I forgot where we were, but we were flying back and Texas, and the guy was like, I always tell him I have a colostomy, and the lady yells at him, she goes, he's got a bag, check him, and he's like, what? I go, I have a colostomy, and he goes, and he looks at me, I go, a bag, and I move it so he could hear it, he goes, oh. And he puts the gloves on, but he keeps looking at me like, should I touch you? Should I not? I go, usually what they do, and I start telling him how they check me, and he's like, you're good, go ahead. And I was like, oh, yeah, he didn't want to touch it. I was like, oh, well, cool, man, that's pretty good.
My buddy, when he told me, because he had Crohn's, he sent me an email and goes, Papa got a brand new bag. He had so many good lines. Like Roy Haber, he had so many good lines about it.
My usual stupid jokes are when people tell me, like, so you had anal cancer? Like, how'd that feel? I'm like, well, it was a pain in the ass,
Yeah,
but it's behind me now, so I'm good. I'm all good. And people were like, you're full of shit. I'm like, I am. Let me go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I'm going to change my bag.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I had a question and then I lost it because we went off on something else. Aside from your health issues, has anything ever almost brought you to your knees?
Comedy.
Yeah?
Just because you don't know what the next situation is going to bring you. You don't know if this is the height of your career and you don't even know it. That's what sometimes makes you weird, because you're like, oh, what if this is the top part of my bell curve and the rest is just all down? You know, what if this is the best I'm going to do? So comedy kind of keeps you honest in the sense of keeps you guessing.
Is that what keeps you grounded, centered?
That and being broke. If I had money, I'd go to Panda. If I had enough money, I'd go home to a Panda wearing only hip-hop clothes.
That's pretty sweet. I like...
I want a Panda that just smokes weed, and I dress in hip-hop clothes.
You're almost a Seth MacFarlane cartoon. That's pretty close right there.
Really?
Well, he includes an animal or an alien or something in all his shows.
Never hurts, man.
Never hurts. So your relationship, how
I have a
long?
girlfriend. A little less than a year.
So this is new from when the last time we talked.
I might have been seeing her. I just hadn't brought it up.
Okay.
I am a little private about my romantic stuff. She's amazing. She's a vet tech student at Pierce College. She is 25. I'm trying to think what else. She is half Armenian, half Guatemalan.
Wow, that's
a mix.
Wow.
She's great though.
Do you have an idea what she thinks of dating a comic? Or what's it like to date a comic?
She's a big fan of stand-up, and she's told me she likes to see the behind the scenes of how we interact with each other, and just how, because she comes up being a comedy and magic a lot, and she's like, I love watching you comedians tear each other apart and just talk, and it's very cool to kind of sit back and be a spectator.
Yeah, definitely.
So she's amazing. She's always fun to be around.
What's it like to date you?
I'm really easy to get along with always. I always keep myself busier than I should be. So it's like there'll be times we'll have plans and I'm like, oh, I gotta go do this instead. I'm sorry. I have to go do this. And it's, at first, you don't make as much time, and then the more your relationship develops more, I now know every week I have to at least set aside 2 days for her because I want to see her. Not that she wants to see me, but I want to see her, and I want to make sure we have time together because it's just tough, dude. It's when you're always busy, and she's in school and she works, and it's just we got to be really good at organizing our time.
What's your goal?
The world, Chico.
Yeah.
Scarface. I think that's what you're calling it. The world, Chico. I don't know. I would love if I could say all the things that I want. I would like to perform on the Tonight Show. That's always been a goal. I would like to do my own special, and I would like to host a game show.
Nice.
If I can do those 3 things, on top of what I've done so far, I'll be very happy with myself.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I'd be good for a game show.
I think you would too.
Put me in a suit and make fun of some lady from Des Moines. I can do that.
We'll have to figure out what kind of game show you get.
No, I'm hoping they do that for me. I just show up and read the cards. I think that guy. He didn't learn lines. He just reads cards.
Biggest lesson you've learned in your life so far?
Never take a moment for granted. Yeah, especially that. Something's really good. Take a step back and kind of take a mental picture because it might not be that good again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be driving sometimes, and I don't know if it's the weed or just the moment, but I'm like, man, I live in LA. This is pretty tight. This is a cool situation. Not many people get to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very fortunate. And to have found the success that I've found in LA since I've been here, I try to just not take anything for granted, take a moment for granted.
So you're the kind of guy that celebrates every step along the way.
Yeah, whether it's just a 5-second moment to myself to just be like, yeah, all right, I fucking nailed that. God damn it, I nailed that. But yeah, I always look back and go, cool, this is, sometimes the universe will bring me down a peg if it needs to. If I'm not able.
Yeah. If needed be, what would be plan B?
Vampire hunter?
Sounds logical.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Buffy's already taken, so Buford the Vampire Slayer.
Can I say Pablo Escobar? Can I? No, I would start my own cartel. I'm kidding. No, I don't know what I do besides comedy. I don't have I'm not giving myself a plan B.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's either plan A or a 12 gauge.
How do you follow that comment?
That's what I'm saying in my mouth out with buckshot.
Just let it know, folks, if you ever read the news and you're like, oh, Chris. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess that was it.
No, I think if I was ever to the point I was going to take my own life, I would draw a very long list of people that got to go first.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm at this point, these assholes are going to walk hand in hand to hell with me.
Well, because it's funny. I look at
Well, because I think some of these people were intricate in making me feel where I needed to take my own life. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, maybe killing them made me feel better. Do you ever see that? There was a movie called God Bless America.
I think so.
Dude gets cancer, and it's like a death sentence, and he decides instead of killing himself to kill just all the scummy reality piece of shit stars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, then I haven't heard that one.
I think it's like Bobcat Goldthwait directed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my buddy made me watch it. I was like, this is fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna have to watch it then.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Well, the way I look at it is like, AIDS didn't do it, cancer didn't do it, drugs and alcohol didn't do it. Like, what chance do I have in taking my own life? Like, if they didn't
do it, you better build a bomb.
Like, I would put a grenade up my ass and let it explode. But then there's a lot of...
You've done that.
Yeah, basically I've already done that. So
that was, the night at the Parliament House.
I don't know what...
That's a gay hangout.
If God hasn't been able to, get rid of me yet, what chances do I have to get rid of myself?
But my house burned down twice as a kid. I've had an aneurysm. Lord, if you're up there, bring more ammo.
The funny thing, what makes me laugh is when people tell me, it's like, God has a plan for you. I'm like, could he possibly deliver the plan in a less harmful way.
Oh, shit.
Like, there's
God
UPS.
plan also an obstacle course?
Like, there's UPS, FedEx, email me, text me, something. Well, we're coming down to the end of the show.
We have 48 seconds.
48 seconds.
38 seconds.
Any suggestions, advice for coming up comics? Young kid out there listening to you from nowhere,
Do
USA.
not go to a major city. Go to a smaller city if you don't already live in one. And just get on stage there. You'll get a lot more stage time. It'll be less stage time that matters in the sense of development. Get on stage, get on stage, get on stage, get on stage, get on stage. That's the trick. It's not how many years you've been doing it, it's how many minutes on stage you have. You know, look at it. You know, if you do 1 5-minute set a week and enjoy getting better 5 minutes at a time, if you do 10 5-minute sets in a week, you're going to get better 10 times faster.
Nice.
So just live on stage. Be on stage as much as you can.
And where can people find you or
Everything is
email you?
at Chris Cope Comedy. My website is chriscopecomedy.com. My Twitter is at Chris Cope Comedy. My Instagram, you guessed it, at Chris Cope Comedy.
I can't leave the show without saying this because I told you, I said it to you on the first episode. I've said it
I
to you.
believe children of the future. It's like it should be playing in the background.
He's trying to downplay my emotional
Yes,
moment.
I am, because I
But-
don't deal with my emotions.
But fuck you, it's not gonna happen.
I'm not crying,
I met Chris and then I liked his comedy, so I would follow his page. I watched him on TV and I had those on my DVR, which when they took my DVR, turned it in, I lost them. They were gone, so I couldn't find them anymore. But you were on that show Laugh or
Laughs,
something.
yeah.
And
I had appearances on that.
and I had it on my DVR for a long time. Chris knows this, and I want you guys to know it too. When I was pretty sick and I was miserable and just hated life, when I was home alone and Christian would come back to his house, I would turn on Chris and watch him. And the main reason that I love your comedy and I became a fan was because you talked about your health issues. And that's what motivated me to be able to talk about my stuff online and do video blogs.
Well, that's awesome.
So
Glad, man.
the video cancer blogs and the ostomy videos were all an inspiration
Oh, wow, that makes me feel great. Thank you.
based on knowing that I figured if Chris can stand up there and talk about his shit, I can sit there.
I was trying to get laid because of it.
Hey, well, I'm still trying to get laid too.
Hey, I can hear you. Your boyfriend can hear you.
Yeah,
okay?
and that's why this show is going on a little too long. But I
He's
wanted
asleep. He's already jacked off. He's like, fuck this
probably
shit.
I fed him and give him juice. But I wanted the folks to
4-year-old?
know.
I fed him and gave him juice?
Put him to bed.
Robert?
Hey, don't criticize our intimate games. Thank you very much.
That's none of my business.
But I know you're trying to make me not do it, but I'm going to do it. I wanted to thank you because even though you didn't know it, you were there to inspire me and keep me going. And I owe you part of me being here.
Aw,
So
high five.
thank you. Thank you for
High
that.
five. That was a high five.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, man. That makes the entire day worth being. I don't know. I would say I wouldn't say, and I talked about it just to inspire others. I don't think anybody truly does. I think things that are inspiring are done because they're not coming from that. They're coming
Right.
from an altruistic. Like, I just walked on stage and was like, I have to talk about this event that changed my life. And I think if not everybody gets afforded that opportunity to survive something extremely crazy with medical, and you got to bring it up because there are people that are struggling. Most people that have what I have die, but like with you beating cancer and stuff like that, like there are millions of people that are surviving that shit every day. And then, like you said, that blog helps them. It's just the cycle of being a human being. You're paying it forward,
And knowing now the amount of men who have anal cancer and never get diagnosed until they're too late in the stages. One of my
Not be afraid of the doctor. Go to the fucking doctor. Let him jam his finger in your ass if he needs to. Just quit being don't be homophobic about it. The guy, you know what? You think he's enjoying it? That's the fourth asshole.
in my head he is.
Guys, it's been really good today. I do have to pee though.
Anyway, all right, we're gonna sign it off. So anyway, for all of you listening, Chris Cope, thank you for coming,
Thank you for
having dinner. I know it's been a long day. Really appreciate it. For those of you listening, thanks to my producer, Kevin Moyers, for all your help and support. Follow us on abnormalentertainment.com. Go check out the show. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Little Mexican, LILMESICAN. LittleMexicanProductions.com. Check out the page. And Chris Cope, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
For Abnormal Entertainment and Little Mexican Productions, this is Daniel Garza saying, hey, put it together.
You could study Shakespeare and be quite elite, and you could charm the critics and have nothing to eat. Just slip on a banana peel, the world's at your feet. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My grandpa said go out and tell 'em a joke, but give it plenty of hope. Make 'em roar, make 'em scream. Take a fall, but a wall split a seam. You start off by pretending you're a dancer with grace. You wiggle till they're giggling all over the place. And then you get a great big custard pie in the face. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Make 'em laugh.
Subscribe to Put It Together on iTunes, Stitcher, and at abnormalentertainment.com/putittogether. Find Put It Together on Facebook and tweet Daniel at Lil Messican, LILMESICAN. And for more podcasts, comics, books, movies, and more, head to abnormalentertainment.com.
You've been listening to the Abnormal Entertainment Network.